welcome to the 48th edition, the 8th, Mike and I have been doing this together, of the IWAR Gold Strategy Workshop. And if you're watching this by accident, we're sorry in advance. I always think about like someone stumbles across this by accident. What? You know, what?
I think they're getting stock tips or something.
We didn't know how, but these two guys, they did this video and it knew all the stock market hits. Okay. So, yeah. So we're back in the 48th edition. This is for the October, right? October cycle?
Nope. Fall.
Oh, fall.
Yep.
Fall cycle.
They always, yeah. It's always when the cycle starts. So the ones with a month name, iron has to be in that month.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
That. Yeah.
Okay. I did ask them. They gave me the dates for next year. It was all the iron dates. So I like go through and kind of do the math and figure out when gold was. But yeah, I was asked by one player, would you guys do this for other feds? And I was like, well, I wouldn't because I don't play other feds. I don't know. I know you guys.
I'm in 3. So I do this for the 3 I'm in, but yeah, I don't track. I track the minimum on the ones I'm not in, just what was the drop, the back I still look at, the multi-drop.
Yep.
But I don't quite go through as much work don't need it. If I ever go to those, I'll go back and do the work. But,
right. Yeah. So yeah. So just shout out to Derek Tuttle for surviving the hurricane. I don't know if he'll watch or not, but if you haven't watched other shows, Derek will be IWAR commissioner next year. So that's in the works. But that'll be a fun, exciting show, I hope. Someone had noted, I think it was Derek actually said that 42s had hit 10 cycles in a row or 10.
Yep. Yeah, that's one of the things I'm going to show because that's.
Now, is that what I'm thinking of? Like
not,
it's.
Yep. It's
okay.
We can start there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Let me start my timer down here because I know we have our only so much time. But all right, so here goes.
So we're talking. So all of last cycle had a 42 go to 44. And you see, we actually had another one of those somewhere. There it is. Yeah, we had another one of those earlier this year. And it was unique because it was the first in several years as well. So it's interesting that we now have 2 of those this year. Something that can't happen now. So it's... let's see. I'm just looking here. So we had 6. We had 8 when that occurred. But you see, this time started at the exact same time, bronze, and it went through all the next cycle, and then it's went iron and still. Previously, when that occurred, it went to 41 starting that next cycle. But yeah, that's 10 in a row. It's been years if that did happen. Like I would say 4 or 5 years. I went back that far and couldn't find it. So it's interesting. It makes you think. Why would you go against 42 until it misses? But it's also well overdue to miss. So you're in the trap.
Yes, that's exactly right. I always feel like the easier the front 10 are, the more likely we're going to have that like, oh yeah. Well, we're still going to again. The IWAR likes to make you overthink yourself. So
yeah. If you look in gold specifically, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The last 5 times. Well, we won't count this one because we don't know yet until Tuesday.
Right.
But the last 4 times when a 42 hit, the following cycle of 42 hit 3 out of 4. Don't know. Don't count this one because I didn't write down too far back. Could have been.
Right.
But yeah, 3 out of 4 times it's went 2 in a row. Also look though, it was the opposite each time that it did hit. So I think you could almost gamble that if it is going to be one, probably go 42 stronghold. Just based on
saying. Yeah. So it's one or the other, right?
Yeah. Now, in those 10 cycles, though, you see that it also, not 10 cycles, but 10 feds. It was the weak, and then strong, weak, strong, 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 strong. So the last 5 out of the 10 have all been the strong one. Could be setting yourself up, though, if you go with the 42s. Like I said, probably go with the stronger one,
Right.
just based on all that. But
Which would put us where? What is a stronger one?
This cycle, it would be 62.
62. Okay.
Yep.
I can see that bouncing back. So, or not, and then having a 493.
Yeah, I say it every time we do one of these, but you also just can't go wrong with the 41 because there's no risk of getting a 41 this cycle if you pick the 41s.
Right.
And
that's
in a league like the BRL, that point makes a big difference.
It does, and there's so many events going on right now.
Yep.
You know that can make it
win or loss. If you're worried about where you're going to bottom out at, you want to keep that in the like 494 range.
Yeah.
It's probably still safer for you to go with the 41, but if you want to follow kind of that little pattern that we're on right now, go with the 42. Like I said, probably go with the strong one.
All right.
And that's kind of the bag. Now, on the front, we finally had a week old hit. We had rode, the 5 in a row here, where 5 in a row was pretty big and abnormal. So we knew it was going to come to an end.
Right.
But like I said, even though I suggested last time you still take both strong ones, it only means we missed one. We got the 45 right. So with how bad everything on the front looked last cycle, it at least gave us a 45. So things could have been worse.
Yeah.
Probably safe to go with the strong 43. You see that there was only this one time that both went. And then you kind of have to just think we're due for this one to miss any cycle now.
44 too?
Yeah.
That's
you see we're currently on 6 in a row. This last time we got up to 8. The time before that we got 5. So in the next, could be this cycle, could be next cycle. I would expect that one of the other 42s is gonna, which this cycle it is. It's actually 90, right?
Yeah,
it is 90. 90 is the strong
44,
one. So,
yeah.
I
mean, it could go.
Yeah, you're locked into there. So
yeah,
I would play.
Yeah, so 90 at 44-1. That's probably a safe bet, I'd say.
Definitely, yeah. Don't bet against it.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's what I'd go with. Or like I said, the 41s are still in play. But yeah, that's the back. I kind of like it. Because of 90, we already start out with 8 options.
Yeah.
If you go down to saying, okay, I really want to just use 42 strong, you got 2 options on the back. So that's a great way to cut it. If you want to kind of hedge your bets, pick one of the 41s. And if you look, the strong 41s also went a really long time without hitting, which isn't too uncommon. You see there's stretches, but it's also due to hit. So I would suggest probably going like this if you want 2 backs.
Yeah. And again, we always say, that you roll the dice at your own risk. Go with a safe first, and then.
Yeah. So, like where that gets us.
Yeah.
Go up here. You see, we started just doing the basic stuff.
We
were at 128 options.
Wow.
So if we are confident in those 2 backs, down to 32, and that's pretty good.
And if I had 32 wrestlers,
yep,
cover all the bases. What could go wrong? All right, so our front end here. So the oranges are the.
I want to clarify for the last cycle on the front how it was so bad. Do you recall we literally had one combination that didn't have a 28 in it? And the 28s were just brutal if you didn't take one. Like both being at 30s is not going to happen maybe in years. It doesn't happen. But yeah, basically everything led to you're probably going to take a 28 to drop, and then a 30 just, I mean, at best you get a 496 then, and we saw the back, we missed 3 points. So
Yeah.
that's a 493 high if you got everything else perfect. And
you can't have it all.
Don't get down on yourself about those cycles. Just happens sometimes. Like it's the worst case scenario of everything coming together.
Yeah. And of course, there was somebody, I don't know if it was Derek or somebody, maybe it was John, who was like, watch me 29-27 in steel. And it was.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like you said, there, 29-27 went still. No problem. We'll mark it off. Iron was 29-26, which conveniently was last cycle's gold. So we don't get any help there.
No help.
2 cycles ago was the 27-27.
Right.
So
getting fewer and fewer picks. Look at that.
Yep. So yeah, the 25s from 2 cycles ago were 31 and 46.
Yeah.
You remember we said we're going to cross out the one where both of those occur because it's very rare that happens.
Yep.
So that'll get us down to 15 here.
Oh boy.
And then let's go look at. So we talked about this last time where it was probably still iffy if you thought that you should go with one of these.
Mm-hmm.
But now we're back to where I'd be more confident in it. Mm-hmm. You see here, we did have this 3 and 1, but previously it was all 2s when this occurred.
Right.
Worst case, it doesn't happen this cycle. And unless they're changing something up, we're going to get back into a nice pattern with it soon. So
yeah,
I would be inclined to probably go towards it this cycle. And you're probably not going to get hurt by it too much if you do. But yeah, looks like it's due to bounce back as soon as this cycle, maybe next cycle. So
let it be this. Like I need a big cycle again. I had a really crappy cycle. I want to hit the report again. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't so far this cycle. Need to win something. Running out of wrestlers.
I always enjoy it. It's like when Darren, or usually it's Darren, posts like the school, the results, like the values, and then it's like this steady stream of like 516 PPF or world, or 516 non PPF. So I had to chime in with the 502, just because. No, I'd like to hit and just have a good solid cycle.
Yeah. The main thing, I was really trying to keep all my BRL wrestlers with an average of 495 or above for the year. 2 of them fell below it last cycle, so got to get them back up.
Yeah, I was on a hot streak with Paige Turner. He had a 495 or higher, like I think 6 out of the first 7 cycles, and then he's been kind of cold. I'm like, oops. So, yeah, and plus too, I think with all the events going on, and I think I made you aware that we're going to do Johnny B Cup next year. He's going to be huge. Murano too, going to be huge with all these people involved. And I'm thinking about making it kind of like where we do the prize thing, where it's like each round for a high score, as well as the finishing. I want to try to make more people win some credit out of it. Make it a bigger event. So having good strats, wow. So we're looking at this, and so I always feel like I'm off a cycle. So last cycle I leaned heavy on 29-28.
Yeah. So let's talk about that, because that's another, feels like something's broken in their system.
Database system?
Yeah.
What did they do?
It hasn't hit since June.
Wow.
The double drops went that long, but there's no other, mixture of 2 like 29-28 or any of those. that's done that. You see, I'm back in 2015,
Oh, jeez.
2014. Okay, here's where it happened. It was in 2014, and we went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cycles without it hitting.
And how many are on right now? 6?
4, I believe.
Or 4, okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 5th cycle. Did we find the answer back in 2014? Probably not. It's just really unusual, and I don't know what to tell you. Now, the good news is you don't have to go all in on it, because 2 combos got eliminated because they had hole 25 in it.
Right.
We made the educated guess that the combination of the 25s from 2 cycles ago won't go.
Right.
So we're down to 1. So if we even wanted to use 4 backs over here on it, then you could go all in on it. But if you like one of the 2 that we talked about, then yeah, 2 wrestlers covers it. So don't have to go all in on it this cycle.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's nice. It's there. It's going to get used a lot. I know that. So if it hits, yeah, your 495s aren't going to do much.
Yeah, it's one of those cycles where you go, I've got a 497. You can get anything.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Very well could be if that hits.
Yeah.
So I would suggest you probably want to, if you go with it, that's fine, but pick something else too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not good to go all in on it this cycle. I wouldn't.
We have 28 sitting there.
Yeah.
13 cycles, and it's been a while. But
yeah.
What's up with 28?
The other thing about last cycle, was it, I already forgot, 29-26 or 29-27, whichever hit. 29-26?
Last cycle? Yeah.
Yeah. It came from bronze for the second time in a row, which is interesting because you see it was pretty rare for it to ever go from bronze. But yeah, that happened 2 in a row. Just a side note. I thought it was interesting.
So we won't see it 3 times.
I wouldn't think so. I went back and looked these previous 5 times that it happened. I think it was 1 or 2. I think it was once out of 5, and then I found another before that where it happened twice in a row, but never 3.
Okay.
That's not some solid logic, and it's a small sample size of 6. But
all right,
makes me less inclined to go 28-27, knowing that. Just when there's not really a way to eliminate some of these, that's kind of a side one to look at. Been a few cycles since one of the blanks hit, but those are usually still very popular.
Yeah.
Which, we were talking about, that's our 29-28.
Right.
And then it's the 28s. 28s, I think it was last time. Yeah, it was last time we talked about how we've had 26s hit, we've had 27s, and we've had 28s hit this year.
Yes.
And most years it's only 3 double drops occur in gold. I think one year had 4. So if you're going to go towards, it's fine, I guess, to take a chance on it. You see most of the combos have a 28, so maybe it shouldn't be as bad as it was last year, or not last year, but last cycle, if you took a 28 and
right,
didn't go well. But I wouldn't bother doing 28s or 26s. I just think we're probably not going to see them the rest of the year. Just based on 3, like I said, 3s happened. It's one time where 4 happened. It feels like they're using 26s a little more this year, but I would avoid these. I feel like you're setting yourself up for a bad cycle going with either of them.
Yeah. Well, see a lot of people that, feast or famine, they go in the doubles.
Yep.
And then when it doesn't hit, they just skunk it. And it's funny because some guys, like I think I mentioned before, like for years with Yvonne Schnapps and the CWL, I just always had them no 28s, just no 28s. And it was successful. It was for a long time. Goal was 28, 26 was popular, and they got away with it. And then after a while, it just stopped working. And they've been, for the most part. So it's tough.
Yeah.
So you're ruling out 28s?
For me, yeah, like I said, I get why people like them, easy to use, but
yeah,
I'm not going to. So I'll put those. Trying to think of it.
they get the
Blue.
no. Somewhere Johnny B's like, oh yeah, I'll show you.
Yeah, 8
No.
cycles in a row, 28s.
Yeah, 28s again.
All right. So then we've got 28, 27, 28, 26, 27, 26. You see 27, 26 is the one that's most overdue. Hasn't happened in 12 cycles. So, we started off the year with 28s and then 27, 26. So it very well could happen. It was still last cycle.
Wow, that's bronze. Previously,
Previous 2 cycles came
all
from
right.
the bronze of the cycle before. So that narrows us down to.
That would be almost too much of a tipping of the hand, I guess. Like if they did that 3 cycles in a row, or would it invoke the this is some bullshit?
I think that's one of the things. I don't know how many people look at this. It's not something I've talked to many people about, so I don't know if people really think of it as a trend. But it's a good, like I said, I like it as a tiebreaker. But it makes me also like 28, 26 then, because it came from Jade. I feel like a Jade one's due. We're on that cycle where options get extremely low. Let's see here. What was today? I'm drawing blanks already. I didn't work today, so I just
Today's drop 29, 27.
Okay.
29, 27.
And so we're still fairly high on Jade right now, 152. You're guaranteed over the next 3 feds to knock out at least 2 of these. So even if a double drop and another occurs, it's going to be down to like 100. So best case scenario, it's 100 there. They tend to not drop it down too low anymore. We talked in the past that they would get down to like 32 options, 40 options. They've done a better job, I feel, of getting that in the like 70 range. So it's not guaranteed 501s for everybody that has
right.
league or 2 there. Out of these, I probably like 28, 26 a little more. And you see we got the 2 options with 31,
right,
which is the other 25 from 2 cycles ago. So these kind of pair well with if you want to use this 129, 28, and then you get the other 25 from 2 cycles ago with one of these.
Right.
So, yeah, I like being right here.
Well, you mentioned too, like if you play 28s and you do have one of the drops in there.
Yeah. And 28s should be, like I said, they're a little safer this cycle because both went to 30 last cycle. That's not likely to see them go up again. Right. One or both, it will drop. So, yeah. I think you want to have a 28 in your drop this cycle. We got the options with the 25 from 2 ago. That's it. Can't rule out 27, 26 completely.
But... And what you have there on the last cycle, for instance, where you say like, last cycle's drop in Jade was 28, 26.
Yep.
And Steel. So of those, do you ever find that, like you mentioned before, like the 2 from bronze in a row, so write it out, not going to happen. Any other feds that have that kind of behavior, or is it more of a gold
specifically to gold? No, that's I don't have them in this file, but they do tip heavy. There's I believe, let's see, I might have it on still. Let me see if it's on here. I didn't collapse it down on this one.
All right, that's fine.
Yeah, a couple of them were a little more balanced, but they always kind of skew over a larger range towards one or two. Yes, it's interesting though. I mean, it's very rare in gold that still or diamond, like just those ones that are, up against it, they tend to not really, overlap cycle to cycle. So good to know. Like I said, we have very little ways to really break ties sometimes, so it's just an extra level.
Yeah, I've actually decided that this year for the Johnny B Cup and the Murano, I'm going to base the tiebreakers off of previous cycle score. So it won't be the battle royal anymore, or just it's a little more fair. And if you're on a hot streak, it kind of lends to your keeping it going. But, what? Ugh. My cat, I should never give her treats, and now that I do, she's like, "Come on, man, I'm fiending." Oh, yeah, I think this is now down to 30 total options. I'm looking at this.
Yep.
Is that considering
if
all
we take
of our
out if we take out those ones that we didn't like, that's what, 1, 5, 6. And like I said, realistically, you could even, if you're really confident that whole 42 thing is going to happen, take this one, pick 6 of these, take these 3, and some combination of the others. A couple ways to go, but it seems to narrow down a lot more this cycle. So,
all right, no,
ask yourself if you like this 25s to start hitting again, or technically start missing again from 2 cycles ago.
Right.
I guess is the easier way to say that. But yeah.
Oof. Well,
easy to pick.
It's going to be a fun cycle as far as that goes. I think you're right. I think it's going to be a higher scoring cycle, like one of those 501 type cycles. But I don't know, just with last cycle with 28s both going to 30.
Like I said, very unusual.
Right. I don't think we're going to see that. I think 27 is going to 30 or 26 is going to 30. Yikes.
Here was both 27s going. Here's the 28s. So you see it happens every once in a while, and if that was in Jade.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's happened outside of Jade, though, in the past couple of years.
Oof.
So, yeah, it was, like I said, it was everything that could go wrong went extremely wrong when it shouldn't. So, but yeah. I feel pretty good about hitting well with these. So,
yeah. And I think we were talking before, too, is the idea about, for like tag strategy folk, splitting your drops, not doing a combo drop, because you're not going to do both 28s or both 27s or both 26s. So it takes a little more strategy kind of when you're laying your strats out. So there are plans in the work. Eventually, we should pick a time to do the how to win the IWAR thing over again and make it like kind of a simple tutorial. Because I always feel that there's a lot of information here, but if it's one of those new guys, NWL hasn't watched any videos and be like, what?
Do they have access to a whole chart just with is that similar?
Do they have access to a whole chart? I don't think we use one in NWL. We probably could add that as a very simple thing.
Yeah, just like the last 15, 20 cycles, if we just make a little sheet to print in the bulletin.
I know I don't. I stopped tracking because I'm doing the just like the last 15 cycles, and it's rolling, so when it goes 15 more, it just drops off. I don't look at trends like that because I'm silly. My tiebreaker is usually 42A or 42-1, 42-2.
Yeah. I think this is like 180 cycles. What is that? 10 years? Yeah, 10 years.
10 years of IWA strategies. When's the book going to come out? The truth behind the numbers. Does Johnny B wait till the day before to change the numbers just to mess with the guys in jade and bronze?
I do know the answer to that. They do it before the cycle for the entire cycle.
Oh, nice.
So there's no, they see something's hit here and change it. It's before the cycle is what it's been said before.
Yeah. Well, my hope is that we'll see some report hits, but I've always liked to see people who haven't hit the report before make it, or some old favorites who've been shut out for a long time make it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, this 29, 28 may be too obvious, so that's why I go with at least go with something else. Yeah. I mean, look at it; it's the only one not in red in this entire section.
Well, what was it? 2 cycles ago, we were all like, "Oh, it's gonna be 29, 28 or 29, 27 or some combination." We were like, "Oh, this is a really good looking one." It was like, "No." Trying to be broken into the computer. It's like, I'll show them.
Yeah. A few simple questions that you have to ask yourself right here.
Do you feel lucky, punk?
And then right here. So I think we'll have a good mix of high scores though.
So. Well, I definitely think if we do see 28, the 28 go down, and you see a whole lot of, like 22, 31, 22, 59, it carries through a lot of options. So you can have a lot of guys scoring relatively, having that, avoiding that curse, if you will, and doing like 494 and up. But that's always it's a double-edged sword. I always say I'd rather have a cycle where I hit 498 and don't hit something, just because at least I knew I had it right. I'm so close. But yeah, we'll see. Oh man, do you have any last-minute fantasy football advice for the folks out there? Who's your sleeper pick
for this week? I haven't set my FanDuel lineups yet.
You do FanDuel now. FanDuel in Massachusetts. Do you have FanDuel there? Right? Do you have ability to pick like a parlay or like a 4-team teaser? Like, can you pick like?
I don't do stuff like that. I just have a group of friends that we have our own little like 10-person league. $10 winner gets all the money.
Oh, that's cool. Because I know, like, I do FanDuel. I do basically NASCAR with my father. So we both pick 5 racers. And we go. My dad, he's won a lot recently, like a lot, like $30-$40 for him. It's a lot. But football wise, Massachusetts just passed about a month and a half ago, legalized sportsbook. Well, it's not ready yet. And I just thought about that. Oh, I'm gonna try that. But yeah, I do FanDuel. I do like one game, maybe 2, not a lot. And like, I'm not big. I had a manager who was like, "You got to spend like $100 to really win anything." How many games are you doing?
$100.
He played a lot. And I was always like, "Man, I hope you're not like, losing your house." But
yeah, one of my friends, he went to Vegas last year. Mm-hmm. He got there in time for the Sunday night game, and he put a ridiculous bet on the points for that game. It was like 46 points, and he put down it's like $700.
Oh,
really dumb. But one of the teams kicked a field goal in the last like 3 minutes, and it got to 48, and he won. So like he assumed he was going to lose, and he got it. And then he was dumb enough to on Monday night try it again with all the money, so he lost it all.
Yeah. I was lucky. I've always been lucky with sportsbook in a way. Like, I remember the first time I went to Vegas. You remember the old-fashioned Sporting News CDM fantasy football stuff?
Mm-hmm.
I did that. And one year I won first. Like I won like $3,000 something. And I've always said that game isn't bad, but you had to be out in the first like 4 weeks. If you weren't in the top two, you weren't going to win. Like, you had to be in the top two. And I just was like in the zone that year. I was like going over stats like a maniac, and went to Vegas. And it was the year the Pats went Super Bowl. So I bought a ticket for them to win. And I put like $30. It wasn't much at all. And the guys in front of me, they had shirts made up with their tickets. And they put like $1,000 in the group on the Pats to beat win the Super Bowl. And they did. That was like crazy. But yeah, I've never been much of I'm not like a big gambler. I'll do like, like I like FanDuel because I always feel like my dad and I, if the money line's like 300, we're at 295.5. Like, come on, like again, like it's just so close.
Yeah, like last year I started with $20 and finished with like 120.
Oh,
I was
that's
happy
really
with that.
good.
This year my 20 right now is at 57, so I'm up right now.
I think
like back in a month it could be 0, but
yeah, it's also how often you play. Like I play, like I said, 2 entries for NASCAR, and they vary. I usually do like a 5 and a 3. I'm not doing big money. And then football I'll do here and there. I don't do all the time. But it's I think I started with $100 back in January, around tax time, maybe April. Just put $100 in, got my taxes, and I've been riding that, and I'm at like 70. So it's, I lose, win like $30. Lose, win 10. But I think it's a good idea to do your friends. That way somebody in your group's going to win. It's not much.
This happened twice last year. The guy that set it up accidentally set it as public instead of private.
Oh.
And somebody would just join, and both times this person that joined won, so we lost our money. Like nobody in our group got it. So got to make sure he clicks that button.
Yeah. All right. Well, our 48th episode. I'm going to 1 minute warning here. So I guess we'll close it out. But yeah, the heads up, everyone who's watching this, make sure you get yourself in by Monday morning early, because they've got a hard deadline on this. I know a bunch of guys there are like, I'll send my stuff in Tuesday and show them. You're going to get blocked out. So don't do that. They're on vacation, because the other way, highfalutin taking their vacations and time off. But no, I think it should be, again, I think it might be a high scoring cycle. Watch me at like 480.
All that stuff that happened isn't likely to happen 2 in a row. So I feel like it's going to go high.
I think I'll go for a 501 this time. Maybe perfect. Maybe just to be, be nice.
Yes. Haven't had one in a few cycles. So I'll take it.
Yeah, I think I've had not even 10 yet total. So getting there. All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching. We will be back in a few weeks to do this again. And may all your fantasy teams do better. Mm-hmm. All right, man. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. See you.